Hi, Monica. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kimberly. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Very excited to do this quick video of bringing the three, I think you said the top suggestions for our listeners on how they can address potential holiday issues. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, just a couple quick tips on how to make your holidays more enjoyable. We all know that it's challenging being in law enforcement and shift work and trying to make things work as far as scheduling. So, I came up with three quick tips to help you out. One being to prioritize things, putting first things first. So if you have a family gathering or a friend gathering, you want to make sure that you make it to working to plan ahead to make sure you have the time off, or maybe trying to find a hybrid situation where you can meet up while you're on shift to see those people and have fun with those people and maybe have the best of both worlds there. But making sure that you're controlling what you can and not necessarily letting work overrun your plans so that you are happy and able to enjoy those things during the holidays. So putting first things first, and also along with that, making time for yourself. This goes any time of the year, but making sure that you're enjoying the holidays, that you're taking the time that you need to maybe treat yourself. I don't know, go buy something for yourself you wouldn't normally do, gift yourself. Just make time for yourself in the holidays because things get stressful and busy there too. Tip two would be stay active. Again, with the extra commitments and things going on, it's really easy to stop working out and stop being active. So that's when you really need to try and get out for a walk, maybe a quick workout here and there. If you're an avid gym goer, maybe you go 5 times a week. Maybe during this month you try to go 3 times per week. Maybe taking a little bit off of your plate, but still being active, trying to find a good balance there. The third thing would be, along with all of the food and drinks and everything that comes along with the holidays, being mindful there, enjoying your meals with family and friends, but making sure it is just one meal, especially when it comes to Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, having that one meal on that day and not having the same Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner for the entire week. Because we all know that becomes a lot of extra food and a lot of extra calories we don't usually eat. So sticking to the one plate for your meal, one plate for desserts, and trying the out of sight, out of mind rule when it comes to the Christmas treats that are often sitting on the counter, like the candy bars and cookies and all of those delicious things. So being mindful there, but also enjoying the foods you like, but just making sure it's one meal and not an entire week or 2 weeks of the same heavy meal that you eat on those days. So three quick tips: put first things first, prioritize yourself, stay active, and enjoy the foods and meals, but keep it in moderation.
All excellent and very doable tips, some advice, definitely. What I would really like to add on this is if you chose this as a career, and in the United States, we do get to choose our careers. We hired on for this job, and I'm never one that says, well, you hired on to it, just deal with it. That is not what I'm saying. What I want to point out with though is you did hire on to this job, and there's going to be holidays all year, every year for your whole entire career. And so you really need to have some good coping skills and some good planning skills. And like you said, plan in advance, but not everybody can be off. It's not going to happen. Not everybody can be off. And we're going to have to work on special days, and we're going to have to work on hours on special days that interfere with our family and with our traditions. But this is where you really become resilient. This is where you become that survivor instead of the victim. And that's a skill that's going to serve you in all areas of your life. So if you know that you're not going to be able to be off Christmas or Christmas Eve or whatever it is that your family celebrates, pick another day to do it. Start that tradition. Make it fun. My husband and I, when we don't go to family for Thanksgiving, if it's just the two of us at home, my boys go with their in-laws and other family and stuff. And we have learned that if he's in town, there's a really good possibility he's going to get called in or have to work. So we don't make a huge meal. We have a meal that's already prepared, really easy, throw in a plate, heat it up, we can eat it. It takes all the stress out of it. You know, I grew up in a law enforcement family, so kind of used to this, but we celebrate Christmas morning, not necessarily on Christmas morning. And we don't whine about it, we don't complain about it, because if we do that, it just puts that into our brain. And that's the story that our brain gets, is that it sucks, everything's bad. And of course, everything's going to be bad and everything's going to suck. We look at it as a challenge. We're survivors, and we make it happen. We make it happen. And I noticed that in my grown children now. I recognize that in them, and so that makes me happy as a parent, as a cop who raised 2 kids. It makes me happy that they have that skill. I think it's also important that we acknowledge the individuals who are going to be alone during the holidays, our brothers and sisters who are out there serving, who are going to be alone. They might be at work or they might not be at work, but they're alone. And we need to acknowledge that it might be by choice, it might not be by choice. It might be the first or second holiday they don't have their kids with them, or they don't have their spouse, or they're away from their parents, whatever the case might be. But we need to acknowledge that holidays are not the same for everybody. Don't just expect that person without children to work for you if you have kids. I always did do that. I always volunteered to work when my kids are with their dad. I always volunteered to work, but not everybody wants to do that. But I think we need to give everybody the space to enjoy the holidays the way they want to enjoy the holidays, and respectfully acknowledge that it's not the same for everybody. The overall theme of everything I just said is you're not a victim. You're not a victim. This is our life. This is our life. It's our life. And we have to find the best way to deal with it, make decisions so that we thrive. And
Yeah.
the form still fits after the holidays.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I've been there a lot. I moved away from family basically straight out of high school. And so when I got into the working world, I was never close to family. So it became a trip or a couple of days I needed off to go spend a holiday with family that I didn't always get as a rookie. We all know the rookies don't get off. They're always working the weekends or midnights. And especially the holidays. They a lot of times aren't senior enough to take off on the holidays. So with the first PD I got on with, my Thanksgiving, I worked it. I was by myself, but at the same time, I had a good friend of mine at the time that was like, "Hey, we're going to be having food. Please come over, enjoy a meal." And that was awesome. It was cool to have somebody around that was like, "Hey, we'll be serving food." And I think we had some PD families and parents that would do that on Christmas Day too. That if you're working Christmas, they would have a big meal, and it was just like, "Hey, if you can stop by on shift, stop by." So that goes to say in general, not just around the holidays, but checking in on people, saying, "Hey, like, do you have any plans? What are you doing?" Especially if you know someone like that. I have a good friend that's like that too, that she moved away from family. And she lives in an apartment, and I'm always checking on her because I know she doesn't always have family and friends by. Because she was like me. I went to college somewhere else, so I had more college friends like close by than family. So maybe create something to do. Find a way to go eat together on Thanksgiving if you can, of somewhere, or maybe say, "Hey, let's both pack a meal and we'll eat together in the break room." Or you can always come up with something where you're not just sitting by yourself in your car, because let's be real, that's miserable. But that's also a choice.
This is going to age me again, but the first Christmas that I had to work, it was 1989. And the 3 females in my academy class, we got together because we were having to work that night. And so we got together and watched Patrick Swayze movies all day long. We just all lined up on a couch and ate popcorn and snacks and watched Patrick Swayze movies on. And that was quite a thing to do, because back in the day, you didn't have all the streaming services that you had right now. So we had to be very creative to do this. But okay, so we are talking about positive things right now, but I do want to veer off a little bit and acknowledge I don't know if it's called the phenomenon or what it is, but there are a lot of first responders that we kind of dread the holidays. We dread the holidays coming up. We dread that what's going to happen. And to be honest, a lot of times we dread what could happen, because very bad things happen in the world, and it happens on holidays. It happens on birthdays. It just happens, and we see it, when you answer those horrific calls on the holidays. And then we have bad things that happen to us on the holidays. There's a history of bad things happening to law enforcement on the holidays in our country. And what I think has been beneficial for a lot of us is if we acknowledge it, we do whatever we have to do to get ourselves mentally and emotionally prepared to address it, to handle, going to work, doing our job. And remember that our fear is based on fact, but the story that we tell ourselves takes a life of its own. Yes, there are police officers who have bad things happen to them on special days, but so far we've survived every holiday we've worked, right? And that's not, I'm not saying that to be sarcastic by any means, but it is something to put into perspective, you know, and we just have to kind of acknowledge that, and don't be embarrassed by the thought that we have those fears. Don't necessarily hide the fact that we have those fears, but don't let those fears overwhelm us, and don't let it use energy that we need to have a good day, basically. And don't let it rob the joy of your family time, because you're so worried about something that hasn't even happened yet. And we do that. We do that. It's you know, it's a survival tool for us. So just be aware.
Yeah, I think that goes back to like manifesting what you want to happen. So if you go in with a positive attitude of like, hey, today's gonna be good, instead of being like, it's my last shift before vacation, I hope shit doesn't hit the fan. You know, it can be very different, because it's one of those things of like, if you expect something bad to happen, something bad is going to happen. If you expect something good to happen, then hopefully something good happens. So positive mindset always helps. So if you, then that will help with the anxiety a little bit there too, of trying to be like, hey, it's gonna be a good shift, and then I'm gonna enjoy my time off, and or my holiday, or whatever plans you have, and then everything's gonna be all right.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, well, I think that we have shared our knowledge for the day.
Yes.
You want to add?
No, hope everyone has a great holiday. Everyone stays safe out there, and enjoy time with friend and family, and stay safe.
And I do want to add this, is that we are not done with our knowledge. We are just done with our knowledge in this particular, because we got tons of knowledge that we could share.
It's endless. Yeah.
Okay, and like we always say, we would love your comments. We would love your input. We would love your ideas. You could make public comments, or you could get a hold of either of us privately. We would like to talk to you. I am Kimberly Stratman of tothepointcoach.org, Brave and Bold and Brave Women on Facebook. And my email address is retirestrat6138@gmail.com. So please tell us of yourself.
Monica Eaton, I'm the CEO and owner of 50 Fierce and Fit, where I create individualized nutrition and fitness programs to help you reach your goals. And you can find me at 50 Fierce and Fit group on Facebook. That's probably the best way to reach me. But you can find me by my personal profile. It's just by Monica Eaton on Facebook, or 50 Fierce and Fit on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Look at you with all that tech stuff you got going on.
It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, but you're serving the women. I love that. I love that. What an inspiration.
Thank you.
Well, until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll look forward to next time.
Bye-bye.